Hello everyone, wanted to give you a quick story about my time as a per diem school security guard for 3 years. Now I worked for a good company. I mean, the company I did work for, all they did was hire current and ex-military and law enforcement. So as far as the co-workers go, they were great. I mean, they were top-notch people, police, corrections, military, police, detectives. I even knew a superintendent of a county jail that came and worked for us. So I mean, we had all kinds of people from all different walks of life. NYPD, you name it, we had it. And the wage they paid was pretty good because when you hire that type of people, they already have a pension or they already have a job with health insurance and pension, so they're not looking for health care or pension. They already have that stuff. They just wanted to make some extra money. So they were able to willing to pay a higher wage because they didn't pay our benefits, so it worked out for the company as well. But despite that, I mean, here's the problem. Right here in New York, the only people who can carry inside of a school are active police officers or peace officers. Now, the problem with being an active police or peace officer working for a company like this part-time is you still can't carry on the job because your company does not allow you to, and they will not identify you. So as per New York, we have all these good guys, we have very well qualified guys, but they're unarmed. No handgun, no rifle, no shotgun, no taser, no baton, no mace, no handcuffs, nothing. So if something jumps off, they're just like everybody else. They're going to be a moving target or a sit target. And of course, they all sat by the front door wearing a security shirt, which you might as well call the Shoot Me First t-shirt because that's exactly what it is. And all you had was a walkie-talkie and your cell phone. Big deal. Do you really need a security guard for that? I mean, here's what it comes out of, folks. We were there for two purposes. One is we're there for insurance purposes. Us being there gives a school a reduction on their insurance. So we were there for insurance purposes. It's no different than like putting a low jack on your car and getting a reduction on your insurance, or one of those kill switches or those electronic keys. We were there for insurance purposes. The other purposes was PR, the PR move. They could say, well, we hired a security guy who has none but ex-law enforcement, military. We did something. And that's what it basically comes down to. They do just enough to say they did something, but they're not going to shell out a lot of money to do what they really need to do. And of course, the unions here in New York, the teachers unions really suck. They stop all this stuff. And and the only people who carry inside of the school in New York City are active police officers and peace officers, which I am currently. But when you work for a private company, they can't allow you to because they themselves are not authorized to do it, and they will not identify you if something goes wrong. Now, I worked in my daughter's school district. He had a few school districts. He had about 3, 4 of them. But I mainly did my daughter's school district because, one, I lived locally, so if they needed me at the last minute for anything, I was able to get there. It wasn't a problem. So I did junior high, elementary, high schools. I did other things for this company as well, but the thing he hired me for was for to do per diem schoolwork. But they didn't take it seriously either. I mean, after 3 years of doing per diem work, I left, and here's the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm doing a job there at junior high school. It's May, towards the end of the school year. They're doing a fire drill. So they have us all go out, and I go from security guard to bellhop. I basically am carrying all the principals stuff. I'm carrying a bullhorn. I'm carrying my little passbook. So everyone's facing towards school, waiting for the signal to go back in. I'm looking the other way, looking for threats, and she's like, what are you looking at? I said, looking for threats. She says, what ever happens here? And I'm like, oh God, they still don't get it. I'm like, ma'am, Sandy Hook is only 40 miles from us. they also said nothing ever happens here until something did happen here. Well, she didn't like my comment much. In general, the schools in those areas didn't take it seriously. They were oblivious. And even though I was getting paid a decent wage, I was making more money working overtime, so I left the job to work more overtime, make more money anyway. And I honestly felt that I was useless there. I felt I was better being home, and if the 911 app goes off and my daughter's school's having a shooting, I could go there with my handgun off duty and do more. Now you're gonna say, well, if you're 3-4 miles away, how can you get there in time? Well, as opposed to what, being there unarmed and being a target too, and probably being the first one taken out, I'm better off burning rubber in my car, driving for 4 miles to go in there and take out the shooter and save my daughter than probably having both of us die because no one was there to stop him in the first place. Now we do have a sheriff that stopped by once a day, but again, it's only once a day, and it's pretty predictable when they come in. So if you're a crook scouting the place out, it's not hard to figure out when to go in, when not to go in. So that was the other thing. There were gaping holes. I mean, if you want to take a lot of children out, all you gotta do is go there early morning when all the school buses come in at the same time. They all drop off at the same time, and the front door is wide open for them to go in. Any man with a rifle or shotgun or handgun could have done a lot of damage. And it was the same thing at the end of the day. Door wide open, children get out of school to go on their bus. If you wanted to do something to them, it was very easy. And because the one unarmed guard was there with his little passbook, he was not going to do anything either. Like I said, it was a whole show. It was for PR. It was garbage. You can hire the best people, but if you have no plan in place, and if he's going to be unarmed, then you've accomplished nothing. The only thing you've accomplished saying, well, we hired a company that hired professionals. Unarmed professionals are useless, especially in the face of a shooter who's armed to the teeth. And as he felt better, I was better off waiting at home and driving or with my off-duty firearm to take out the shooter than being there and being a victim. This is what we're dealing with, folks. And that's my experience as a school security guard. I didn't care much for it. It just pretty much confirmed what I already knew, and that these schools don't want to do as little as possible. They don't want to spend the money on it. And they're going by, well, it won't happen to us. Alright folks, remember, protect your loved ones, because if you don't do it, no one else will do it for you. We'll see you next video. Stay blessed, everyone.